So today I'm going to share with you 10 brutally honest truths that you need to hear that relate to content creation. And if you're not aware of these, I would stick around and listen to them, and I'll explain why at the end they're important to know right now. So the first brutally honest truth that you need to hear is that if this is the first time that you're creating content from scratch and you've never really done content creation before, or you don't have an existing audience to leverage, this process could be really slow for you. The reality is a lot of influencers will tell you that it's really easy to grow a second channel or a third channel, but nobody ever documents the journey of growing just a single channel. If you don't have that previous footprint already on a given platform, you are going to struggle to get traction in the initial stages. You're at the behest of the platform that puts your content in front of people, and obviously as you are learning and trying to get better at content, your topics will become more interesting and your content will be much more amenable to people to watch. But it is what it is, and it can be really slow from the get-go. On to brutally honest truth number 2, and that is that social media is just honestly very, very much oversaturated. There are millions of different channels out there, possibly even billions, and there's millions of people who are creating content across the platform in all different niches and all different areas. There is a very, 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 very small chance that your content will stand out to someone in the sea of other content that is out there. And regardless of the niche or topic, you just need to accept that there are tons of people who are trying to do this, and you might not get all the viewers you thought you might get. So brutally honest truth number 3 is that short form content is not very good at actually converting sales for much at all. Unless your business is specifically selling very small products like chocolate bars or new little gadgets that might be useful to people, short form content is not very good at converting. And if you're planning to jump into social media and you're looking to use short form content as a way to grow your business, you might actually be quite disappointed with the results. The fourth brutally honest truth is that there are millions of other people out there, not just doing social media content, but are doing exactly the same thing that you're doing. If you're offering some kind of course on how to do something, video editing, graphics design, business mentorship, any kind of high value item, you're going to find there's tons of other people who are doing the same thing as you. And the chances are that when you put content out there, you're not just going to get everyone who's interested in that come to you and want to buy your stuff straight away. You just need to face reality that there are tons of people who will do exactly the same thing as you, and you are in a competitive market. Brutally honest truth number 5 is that you're going to have to edit content for a lot longer than you think you might. The reality is that if you're hiring someone to help with your video editing or your marketing or your packaging, it's not a cheap process. People will say, oh, the first thing you should do is outsource your editing to somebody else. But it's not actually cheap to do. People will say, oh, you can use Fiverr and pay $5 and have someone edit an entire video. But if you're looking for quality and you're looking for something that will make you stand out, you're actually going to pay by the minute of video footage that you might have. So if you're using YouTube as an example for a format, you could pay between $10 and $100 per minute of footage to get your video edited by somebody else. So unless you're absolutely loaded with cash, you're going to be editing for quite a while. Brutally honest truth number 6. Viral videos are not all that they're cracked up to be. Now, it might sound a little bit counterintuitive to what you've heard before. People say viral videos are amazing and they've changed their lives and all this kind of stuff. But the reality is, if you're trying to grow a business with content, a viral video simply means that your content has been surfaced probably to people who might not even be interested in what it is that you're offering. And there was just something about it that tricked the algorithm into thinking that it needs to be pushed to as many people as possible in all sorts of different niches. You might look at your video and think, wow, I've got loads of people with eyes on my product now. The reality is, when you publish your next video, you'll probably find that there's less interest in what it is that you have to offer, and it will just be a complete bummer for you. Don't look too much into viral videos, because viral videos can actually be a bad thing for a business when you're trying to grow one. They're actually better for things like entertainment. So we're on to honest truth number 7, and believe it or not, you are going to have to create the same video over and over and over again until people resonate with what it is that you're trying to get to, what point you're trying to make, and even what product or service you're trying to sell. This is because if your business is positioned around a very specific topic, it will be hard to create many different types of content around the exact same product or topic that you want to cover. And therefore, you will need to tread over old ground quite a lot in order to get content fit enough for your channel to get the big enough visibility for people to come and actually buy your products or your services. Brutally honest truth number 8. Viewers will typically need to view somewhere upwards of 7 to 10 hours of your content before they will consider doing business with you. So if you had this idea of just launching one video and getting loads of sales from it, you're probably mistaken, and you're probably in for a wild surprise when you publish that video. The reality is it takes a while to get traction on videos and content anyway, let alone to sell products to. People like to know that you're actually doing things consistently and that you're providing real value and you're not just trying to rip them off in one foul swoop. So just bear that in mind. You're going to need at least 7 to 10 hours of footage on your channel that people will actually watch before someone might even buy a product from you. Now, brutally honest truth number 9 is that you're going to need to learn how to become a marketing expert in the early stages. And that is because part of the content creation process is about packaging your content. This could be titles, it could be thumbnails, it could be hooks, captions, whatever it is on whichever social media platform you're using, you're going to have to learn how to do that and how to attract people in. You can, of course, use AI tools like ChatGPT, but just remember that other people will also be using AI tools like ChatGPT for the same ideas, and they're not guaranteed to convert for you as they might do for someone else. And brutally honest truth number 10 is probably the worst one of all, and you just need to accept it. People are going to rip off your content, your packaging, your thumbnails and your ideas, and even the way you project, and sometimes, in worst cases, your actual script from your video. The age of AI tools and things to actually scan all of this stuff, create other forms of content using other people's content is actually very, very paramount at the moment in social media. People love to rip off other people's ideas, and unfortunately for you, there is little that you can do about it. You have to remember that you can't claim copyright if someone else is shooting your content and saying your words over and over again. It's very difficult to prove that. And to be honest, social media platforms won't actually give a shit about it. So just be prepared when you create good ideas, good content that you think no one else has done. Soon enough, other people will have done that content too, and you'll be in a sea of other people saying the same things as you. Now, the reason I've mentioned all of these brutally honest truths in this video today is because you need to be aware that they exist and that they happen. However, just because I've mentioned them, it doesn't mean that you should stop creating and give up. The idea of understanding this is so that you can set your expectations accordingly. There is nothing worse than looking at your YouTube analytics or your social media analytics and finding out that your video is completely bombed because you expected it to do amazing just because you had a good idea. The reality is it's probably very normal in your early stages of content creation for you to not be getting many views, if any views at all, on your content. Remember, the content is king, but ultimately, YouTube and platforms like that will govern what other people see and what you can share to. And unless you have an existing audience like other influencers do, you may struggle to get the traction that other channels claim to get on their first few videos. So you should look at all of these and you should think, how can I just accept that that is the way things are? And how can I actually then move forward with my business knowing that this kind of stuff might happen? And you might be actually pleasantly surprised that when you accept some of these things, your life as a content creator will be less stressful because there won't be this high expectation of you thinking your video is going to be viral on the first day. The reality is that's not good for your business. What you want is a consistent stream of content. You show up as much as you can, deliver value, improve on the value where possible, and if you can do that, you will still have success with your business, despite of all the brutally honest truths I just told you. Now, these brutally honest truths are centered around content, and that's just the first part of the sales funnel. And if you want to understand a little bit more about things that you might need to do in order to accelerate your sales, then I'd suggest that you watch the video that's on screen next, as I break down this sales funnel in detail and explain the kind of things that you will need to do at each stage, and also covering the topic of content, which we've discussed in this video. So I would click on that video next if I was you, and I will chat to you over there.